Hi and welcome to the Belfry. This is the Brabazon Golf Course, the stunning par 4 18th. My name is Chris Ryan and the video today is all based around impact and discussing some concepts which might help you next time you go to the practice area. Just before we get started, in the corner of the screen you should have the details on my social media accounts, so if you don't already then please go ahead and follow me on there. So as I say, today's video is all around impact and we're going to give you a little drill that you can do, but more importantly we're going to discuss maybe what you're trying to do. And this is one of those things that I see golfers maybe struggling with simply because the concept of what they're trying to do isn't quite right. So we're talking specifically about the golfers who strike the golf ball when the handle is too far back. Now these golfers will often struggle with strike, they often struggle with the trajectory control, they generally don't hit the ball as far as they would like, and they certainly don't take divots after the golf ball. Now taking a divot after the golf ball is by no means the be all and end all, but taking a divot after the golf ball suggests a few things are in place. It would suggest that you've got the weight forwards, it would suggest that you've got the handle forwards, and it would suggest that you've got a nice downward attack angle. And many golfers out there who don't hit the irons as well as they would like are trying to work towards more of those things, and probably quite rightly. So for me to do those things, the handle of the golf club has to be forward of the golf ball if I'm to do those things correctly and effectively. The golfers who struggle, as we said, have the hands back behind the golf ball. So what I tend to see as being the issue is that a lot of these golfers are trying to get the hands forward, which is maybe quite correct, but not quite in the right way. So what we're going to do is a little exercise which is going to hopefully highlight exactly the correct way and the incorrect way of doing this. I'm going to take my setup, but I'm just going to slide my hands down onto the metal. So you can see how I've gone probably down to the end of the grip, and I've probably got about 10 inches of that grip showing there. So let's say I've made a backswing. Let's say I'm down to this last parallel position. Now it would make sense that to play this golf game correctly, we'd like to put as much speed as we can into the club head. Within reason, that's going to help us play the game a lot easier. It's going to help us advance that ball further down the fairway and hit the ball much greater distances. So from here, if I were to try and put as much speed as I can into the club head, I'm not going to do it at full speed, you'll notice that the grip end actually moves backwards. So my grip got significantly forward of the golf ball, but as I then start to deliver the club head, my grip moves backwards. Now, we've made it a little bit more clear by the fact that I'm holding it much further down the handle. That's fine. However, how much speed would I be able to put in that club head if I was continually through this downswing trying to keep the grip end in front of the golf ball? Well, I would suggest that we're not going to put as much speed into the club head, because when I do put the speed into the club head, the grip moves backwards, which is maybe what that golfer's trying not to do. They're trying to get the hands forward and the club shaft forward. So we see many golfers where they're actually trying to drag the hands in front of the golf ball. What that does is it really actually robs you of club head speed. We would generally see that golfer deliver the club with the club face pointing to the right, and we can often see that golfer hit hosels or shanks off the inside of the golf club because of the way that they're trying to deliver the hands. Now, when I move my hands to the correct place on the grip, that's not going to happen as much, okay, because the coupling point of my hands is around about here. So certainly this part of the golf club would slow down, but certainly not as extreme as what we showed in that demonstration. So what are we trying to do? Well, I would certainly like my hands to be, give or take, in line with the golf ball by the time the club shaft is at last parallel. That's what we're trying to do. From here, I can now accelerate the club head as much as I want, and my lead hand is certainly going to slow down, or the lead arm I should say is going to slow down as the club increases in speed. What we do not want you to do is to continually through that downswing try and get the hands out in front of the golf ball. That is a great way to hit those shots that we spoke about a couple of minutes ago. So here's what we'd like you to do. This is a great drill to get you to exactly feel what's going to happen through impact. Lead hand is going to stay at the top, bottom hand is going to go onto the metal. And I'm just going to make some backswings, and I'm going to come down to this last parallel position. Now from here, what I would like you to do is think about what you would do to put the most speed into that club head. It would certainly not be this motion. It would be more of a this motion. So you can see how my lead arm is starting to slow down through that hit as the club head increases in speed. Notice how my lead shoulder has got to move in the correct fashion to do that. If my lead shoulder does not move, my arm's going to buckle. So starting to make some little rehearsals where we do this is a great way to start to better understand what's going to happen down at the impact area. Those golfers certainly would benefit from having the handle more forward at impact. However, how we do this is important, and if we do it the wrong way, we can often find that the shots get worse, distance down, we don't get as much speed in the club head, and this is something I see golfers are trying to get the hands more forward to see a reduction in club head speed, a reduction in distance. We often see the ball flying off to the right, and I would generally see that as a result of what the golfer's trying to do in terms of the concept. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me hit one. This is the 18th. I've got a 5 iron, so I've got around about 200 yards. So I'm certainly going to try and feel like when I get my club to last parallel, I start to slow my lead arm down and accelerate the club past. My lead arm is not going to stop, but it's certainly going to reduce in speed as I approach impact. Okay, and that's a pretty good shot. Should be just landing on the green. Might be a little bit short, but it's good. So, a little bit more of a concept video. There's a little drill to go along with it, but if we can get you to understand what should happen, to me that leaves you in a much, much better place to actually make some of the moves that we would see the greater players doing. Hopefully that's helpful. If it is, please click the like button down below. There's a comments box, so if you've got any comments on this video or any of the videos you'd like me to film, you can drop those in the boxes down below. And last thing, there is a link in the description box down below to subscribe to my channel. There's loads more videos already on there. It's absolutely free, and there's more going up each week. Thank you again for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.